All right, here we go. This is a fairly simple topic, but you got to know a little bit of background information. It's called the domain of a function. Lots of tests are going to say, what's the domain? And people get all upset and go, oh, I don't know. But the domain just means what number, look at that first function in blue. Hey, what number can I stick in there for x? I can stick 1, 10, negative 30, 0.8, pi. I can stick anything I want in there, right? I can put whatever I want. So you would say the domain is x can equal all the real numbers. That's what that little symbol means. So you go, x could be anything. It's okay. Good enough. The green one says, hey, what's the domain of this function? And if you see a fraction, and people are talking about domain, they're really saying, hey, is there a number in there that if you stick it in for x, it's going to give us 0 in the bottom of a fraction, which you're not allowed to have, right? So in this case, you go, is there anything that x can't be? And you go, yeah, x can't be 0, because you'll have 1 over 0, and that's bad. So the domain is anything you want except 0. Okay, so if you see a fraction, that's what they're shooting at. The one in red down here, hey, f of x, it equals the square root of x. Well, what do you know about square roots? You can't take the square root of a negative number, right? So in this case, you'd have to say, oh, well, the domain is x can be anything as long as it's bigger than 0. Get it? You can't stick negative 2 in there because you can't take square root of that and get a real answer. You with me? So if they're talking about domain, they probably have a fraction or a square root, and that's all you have to know. So here's 3 little examples over here. The blue one says, hey, what's the domain of 7x minus 1074? You go, hey, x can be anything you want, any real number. Pretty easy. The green one says, what's the domain of that? And you go, hey, fraction. Uh-oh, I can't have the denominator equal 0, so what number would make that 0? Hey, if I stick 3 in there for x, I'm going to have 3 minus 3. The domain can be anything, but it can't be 3. See? And the one down on the bottom, f of x equals the square root of x plus 5. Well, wait a minute. If x is negative 5 or bigger, then you're going to get a positive number under that radical sign, right? But let's say x is, negative 6. It's smaller than negative 5. Then you have negative 6 plus, now you got a negative number, and you can't have that. So you're going, hey, you stick anything you want in here. As long as x is bigger than negative 5, we got a home run. Now you may have to hit pause and think about that. It's pretty simple, and if you can do this, people will think you're a genius. And we're talking about the domain of a function. Pretty easy. Good luck. Play around with it. Boom.